just to focus in on some of the things even that you were speaking about. And I do remember someone bringing up something concerning our finances and how they're handled. And I want to know, why is it important to have a money plan for your present and for your future? How does that impact what you do? Jump right in, like popcorn.
Well, I'll say this. I think that whether you're talking about personal financial planning, or if you're talking about business financial planning, as we see in this world, anything can happen, right? And nothing is promised, but that we will live, and eventually, we will transition. And so, as someone who was born into a very modest family, my mom was born below the poverty level in terms of where her situation was, and then growing up as a teen mom, and then getting herself off of the welfare system, putting herself to college for 8 years, being one of the first 2 college graduates in her entire family of many, many siblings. I grew up not living the kind of life that I live, right, and the life that I've been working to build. I grew up not where she was, because she made a better life for me and my brother, as did my father, but I knew what it was like to struggle. I knew what it was like to have credit at the corner store with Mr. John, because my mom was, paycheck to paycheck. And so we would have, our sliced roast beef, a can of gravy, and rice, and that was our meal every single night of the week. And so my mom was never taught about credit. She was never taught about saving money, because her mom didn't know. Her family didn't know. So seeing my mom have to struggle like that, and then all that she did to get her life on track through the grace of God, it just gave me a better sense of how I wanted my life to be different. The values that she instilled in me said, you know what, you don't have to be this because I live so hard. I want you to have a better life than I had, and I want your daughter to have a better life than you have. So from seeing her struggle and her telling me, I want you to have something that's a 180 in a 180 direction from that, it gave me the motivation to learn about why it's important to try to save 6 months of income, which is hard because people are living paycheck to paycheck, right? But seeing her struggle is what really pushed me to do something better, because she wanted better for me. So personal financial footing is super important, because when you are an employee, you can get terminated at any time. You don't know how long employment benefits are going to be around. And God forbid you be an entrepreneur, you are the boss. Yes. You want to go to HR? Okay, look in the mirror and talk to yourself. You want to complain about the manager? Look in the mirror and complain about the manager. So just to sort of sum it up, I would say, if you have like a situation where I had a direct family environment that showed me the worst of what it could be, utilize that as empowerment and motivation to put yourself in a better position. There's so much free information out there now. Make Google your best friend. You can literally Google, how do I create a better personal plan for myself? Anything you want is online. But definitely aspire to have at least 6 months of income set up for you personally, or if you're in a business, because it rains and rainy days will come. And when Mama used to talk about, you gotta have a rainy day fund, even though she didn't have one, it sounded good, but she tried, she did the best that she could. Those rainy days will come. And if anything happens, if you have at least 6 months, that will give you enough time to figure out your next strategy and your next plan, find your next job, create your next income-producing business opportunity.
For some people, 6 months might seem like it's so far out, but the point you're really making is get started.
That's right.
To get to that.
So make that your goal.
That's
so
right.
your goal, it's not like who just has, I got 6 months of income. right there. It doesn't work that way. But if we really think about the things that we sometimes waste money on, buying, and listen, you can buy your kids whatever it is you want. So far be it from me, I don't talk about nobody's children, and I don't talk about how they live in their marriage. But I will say this. You can't complain on one hand about what you don't have, but you're out there buying $200 and $300 Jordans.
Exactly.
Like, there is TJ Maxx, and she is my best friend, right? And so, I think you really do have to prioritize. So 6 months should be the goal, but take it 1 week at a time. If you get paid every 2 weeks, have an extra 2 weeks worth of pay. Make that the goal, because that rainy day will come, and when it comes, you don't want it pouring on your head.
And can I just add to that, and a safe way to do that is to establish an account that you don't have a debit card to. You don't have any access, and it's the hardest thing to get to. And a lot of times you can go to a credit union and use that credit union and do not order. You can order your cards, ladies and gentlemen. You can order your card. Don't order them. Leave that account. Don't think about that account. Allow that to be withdrawn from your money. It can be 10%, it can be 5%, but whatever it is, it'll eventually add up. I found that to be hard because some temptation, if you can get online access to that account, you get tempted when you really need it or want it. So you have to be very wise. A lot of times we find, like she said, we find pressures because of our decision making and how we're planning and not planning. And then if we decide to, just like when you decide, okay, I need to fast. I need to fast, so guess what I can't have around me? I can't have what I enjoy the most.
Right.
In order for God to give you that blessing, you're committed, your mind has to be committed to knowing that this fast has an attachment, it has a name to it. Even when I give unto God, I'm assigning my name or a difficulty to this money or to this seed that I'm depositing. And make certain that you leave it in that box, because God will build the increase. And when you turn around, you'll be like, whoa, whoa, look at what God has done. But sometimes our nature, the nature we have, is to do what I need to do now because I want it done now. So you have to transform. The Bible says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. And God will do it for you if you want it bad enough.
Also talking about the accounts, I have several accounts because I have a big goal. So credit unions, you were talking about the credit unions. I had that through my job, and they take a certain amount. So it's not even in the amount that you're putting aside. People think, oh, I don't have that much money, so I really can't put that much up. I'm living paycheck to paycheck, like you said. But if you took $5 and simply allowed that to be put away, when you do it to your jobs, if you have that option, you don't even see that money. You pretty much see your check, not knowing, because I don't think about it. So when you're saving, you can't know that that money is over there, and you say, oh, I got me a couple hundred, over there, if I need it, or if I want it, or whatever the case may be. You have to almost train your mind that money is gone, it's not there. And if you think it's not there, then you won't call for it. And then when you need it, it will be available. The Lord will bring it back to you. I bought a car off that money because I didn't realize the money was there. But then the Lord said, you check your account because you got some money in there. And I checked my account, and it was like, oh wow, I can go get my down deposit. Not saying I paid for the car, but I was able to get the down deposit. The other end of the account is you can use your debit card. They have a savings that's called Way to Save. So you can design how much you want them to take out of every time you use your card. So when you're using your card, and I'm not cash and carry. I'm good. I got lines of cards because when I go, I need to feel rich. I need to feel rich, because if you look at different people, they flipping out their wallets and they just saying, oh, charge it, and you go to dinner and they like, oh, put it on the card. So I'm like, okay, God, how can I do this? Because I don't want no credit cards, but I want to know that when they take it out, I know that it's taken out, but I want to feel like everybody else too. Here, the little black tray comes and you don't want to be trying to, get money together. So you put your black card on there because you got it going on. I don't have to worry about checking the account. I know it's there. So what I do with the cards, every time I swipe the card, no matter whether I'm paying $1, $2, whatever, $5, $1, $2, $3, whatever I set up, comes off and it drops into that savings. And when I look again, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm thinking, I have no money in this account. Oh no, I'm looking for gas, and I have with the Mint on my phone. So when I pull up the Mint, I say, oh,
That's a good one.
I got money in there.
That's good.
Yeah.
So there's different ways you can actually save without saying, oh God, I gotta take some money out of my check. It's already gone. So that's another option that you can actually use. And you want to do that because then if you need to reach out for something, you got it already. And you don't have to worry about saying, oh, I can't take it out this check because I need this to pay the bill. It's already gone.
I was gonna kind of talk about the aspect of understanding that money does not have a mind of its own. You have to put a plan in place for the money that you get in every week, every 2 weeks, however often it comes. Because when you get it, sometimes people go on shopping sprees, don't always pay off their bills, and then look back and say, okay, I don't have any money.
Right.
But it's because you're thinking the money is going to do what you're supposed to do.
Yes.
You're supposed to have a plan for that money, so when that money comes in, you already have, I don't want to go into budget yet, but
I was just ready to say,
you already have a set budget, paying your bills. Now, this is what I say for people. My business, Protect What You Build, is a financial services company. So, and what we do is we sit down with families to prepare them through their life insurance and retirement plans. When a person says to me, oh, I don't have enough money, which happens every so often, I don't have enough money for life insurance, which you need life insurance because you don't have money to pay for certain things.
Right.
Oxymoron, right? But they say to me, okay, I don't have the money. When I look at their budget, they do have the money.
Right.
It's just that where's the money going?
Right.
Is it going to cable that costs $200 a month?
Right.
When you can't hardly pay any of your other bills?
Yes.
So you have to understand, number one, that right, cell phones, money does not have a mind of its own.
Right.
That's why you have to have a plan. And then secondly, you have to prioritize the plan that you put in place for the money that you get in. So your priority is always taking care of what is necessity.
Yes.
What is needful. What do you need? You need a roof over your head.
Yes.
Yes. And then planning those things out, because a lot of times I think people, we tend to make such rush decisions. Well, I need this, I need that. But the thing that you really need is not being taken care of.
That's
So
right.
you have to
That's
prioritize the money that you get. Your needs and wants are different. So I always, when I'm sitting down with families and business owners, because I do this for business owners, people who make millions of dollars, I'm sitting down with people who have portfolios that are large. But it doesn't matter how large your portfolio is if you don't have a plan for that.
That's right. That's right.
Because then you can lose money. That's where the retirement and all that comes into place. Here's the thing, and I'll close with this. When it comes to life insurance and retirement plans, again, you don't have, if a person doesn't have the money to cover all those expenses, as in their budget, and things that have to be taken care of, that's why you need life insurance. Right. That's why you need a retirement plan, and that's where priorities come in. If you prioritize cable over having life insurance, something's wrong.
Right.
If you prioritize cable over having money going towards your retirement, something's wrong.
Yes.
And my final closing, because you know creatures do this.
That's the real one, right?
Yeah, the real one, right? Is that a way to save? Now you mentioned $5, putting that aside, yes. But after a while, if you want to start making things more concrete, as in, okay, I'm budgeting to save.
Yes.
You'll put the same way we pay our tithes and our offerings.
Yes.
Setting aside at least 10% of your income to pay you.
To
start saving
Yes.
Sowing into yourself. Because these things are just that important. That's why you have to have that plan.
one
I
addition.
want to thank you for that too, because that is exactly what we don't do, pay ourselves.
Yes.
And that is very important. Also, going back to even with the tithes, we don't want to just hit and miss that, because a lot of people say, well, I don't have money to pay tithes, but I look at it this way. For every dollar that God gives me, He says keep 90 cents.
Right,
He's
right,
giving me back the dime.
Say it.
He gives us the job and the ability to go out and work and earn the money, and we don't want to give the dime back. What happens though is when we get to hundreds and thousands and hundreds of thousands, that dime keeps increasing. So now we're looking at it differently. But if you think about it, it's still a dime.
Yeah.
So we have to remember to honor Him first in that way. And secondly, I do love the point that you must invest in yourself. You must invest in yourself. The priorities, I do agree, are such a big thing, because we aren't putting the prioritizing where it needs to go. Because everything that we need in life, God blesses and provides us with, is what we do with it. So I do want to thank you ladies for bringing that out as well.
Can we add one more addition? Teach our children how to do what we do now. I had my Bishop George C. Wright. He explained, he said, sometimes you have to allow your children to walk through the problem that just hit your family.
Yes.
Show them, okay, mommy and daddy just had a major financial crush. This is almost age-related, of course. But even as small children, we have to teach them, because if we don't set these foundations in them, they ain't going to get it till 40, 50 like us. So let's get our children a better foundation. I had my best friend who went to college. She's a doctor now. She paid her entire way through college while going through college. Why? Because when she was in high school, her parents told her, put your checks away, put your checks away. They showed her, put your checks away. When she got to college, every year, she never had a bill. So all of us that's crying, oh my goodness, financial aid saying I owe $60,000, she don't even have to worry about that, because it's already paid. Someone showed her since a child how to handle her finances and what's most important.
Yes.
That's it.
Using the tools.
Yes.
Teach them early.
Yes.
Can I add something to that too?
Yes.
Something that Letitia said, something actually you all said. One of the things I think that stops people so much is that the journey seems so far, right? It seems so far. And one thing I learned from somebody who was really famous, and I'm going to drop his name because sometimes I realize, is that when we say, oh, so-and-so did it, then all of a sudden, we pay attention. Meaning like, my mother-in-law could have told me a million times, but as soon as I hear that this Oprah said it, it's like, wait, no, I've been telling you the same thing forever. So I'm going to drop his name. So in '98, when I first met Will Smith, you know, I was in the Jazzy Jeff studio. We all know the Fresh Prince, right? And so, and it was my first opportunity to meet him, and I was like, okay, I've always believed when you come in contact with people who are famous or people who are just influential in their own communities, don't waste that opportunity. Ask an important question, right? Walk away with something, because you don't know you'll get that opportunity again. So I said to him, I said, Will, you know, you do all these movies, you do Independence Day, you do this, you do that.